We have the AFC West. We have your beloved Denver Broncos. We have the Las Vegas Raiders. We have the Los Angeles Chargers. And the Kansas City Chiefs.
I don't know about you, but I think this is one of the easier divisions. I think we're going to 100% agree on the standings on this one.
I'm just curious as to where you put the Broncos.
I'm not letting my bias get in the way on this one.
Okay.
I am not stupid. Unless Drew Lock comes out and he's something crazy, or Teddy Bridgewater comes out and he's Teddy from Minnesota, or Teddy from New Orleans, they're not getting past second place. They're not getting past third place.
I was about to say, wait, what?
They're not getting past third place. Unless those quarterbacks show up and play.
Sure.
So let me just give you my standings. Chiefs 1, duh. Chargers 2,
Agreed.
Broncos 3, Raiders 4. I think the Broncos roster is more talented than the Chargers. However, the Chargers have a top flight quarterback, which elevates that roster
it
to
means
another
a lot. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So if the Broncos could have a halfway competent quarterback, I would put them at 2.
Sure.
But they don't, and we haven't seen that yet, other than the first week of the preseason, which both guys did pretty well, but again, preseason.
Correct.
We're playing against second-string Minnesota Vikings, whose defense was trash last year anyway. So you can't really put too much stock in that. But so with what we know now, the Chiefs it's Chiefs,
it's a big gap.
Chargers, Broncos, Raiders. I think that it's not even close. The Chiefs are the Chiefs. They're almost Super Bowl shoo-ins at this point. Almost every year.
What they did with that offensive line? Oh my God.
Granted, they're not unbeatable, but once they get into the playoffs, they pretty much are.
It's tough.
And then the Super Bowl was, to me, the Super Bowl was the exception, not the rule, because you lost your left and your right tackle to a team that's got a pass rusher on the left
and
a
on
pass
the right.
rusher on the right. So that was a spelling of a disaster for sure. But they shored up that offensive line even better than it was last year.
Wow.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going into year 2. He's going to be even better. Travis Kelce's still got 3-4 years left in him.
Everybody there still.
Tyreek is still a savage. They lost a little bit of depth on that receiving core by losing Sammy Watkins.
Which is okay. He had such a small impact.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? It was small at that.
Correct, but it was just another weapon.
Right. I mean, you got McCole Harbin. You're good.
Correct.
You don't need much
That
more.
defense is pretty much the same as it was last year, which.
However, they lost 55, that pass rusher on the edge. I don't know what his status is with that gun charge.
Justin Houston.
No.
Oh my gosh.
The guy who had,
Yes.
not Jones, that's 95.
No.
I can't think of his
I
name,
know
but
what
he's
you're
a
talking
stud.
about.
He sacked Brady in the Super Bowl.
Yes.
He's a stud.
That's
That is
unfortunate.
uncertain in terms of where he's going to be.
Sure.
And I'll tell you what, if he doesn't come back, they don't make the Super Bowl.
You don't think they can make it?
Nope.
I mean, I tend to agree with you. I don't think
Nope.
the Chiefs make the Super Bowl again this year, but that offense is just so
Oh my goodness.
damn
It's
talented.
ridiculous.
They're almost the only team guaranteed to come in first in their division.
100%.
Minus the Bucks, who are pretty much guaranteed to come first in their division.
I would agree with that.
Which oddly enough. Chargers, Justin Herbert's gonna be even better than he was last
He's a
year.
stud.
He's gonna pass for 5,000 yards and pass for 40 touchdowns. Like it's just he's gonna go off. Keenan Allen hopefully stays healthy.
He's so good.
Austin Eckler needs to stay healthy. That would provide that running game support that a young quarterback needs. Offensive line got better, which is perfect. Joey Bosa is still there and still anchoring that defense. They still got Chris Harris Jr. They still got Derwin James.
Yep.
So there's a lot of guys still on that defensive side of the ball that are going to show up and they're going to show out. Broncos, said it already, quarterback is the big issue. Literally every other part of their roster is solid.
Yep.
The interior offensive line is another question mark, but there's a few guys in there that I feel optimistic about. Defense is going to be top 5 this year. No, I personally have no doubts. Just running game's good. Melvin Gordon and Jamal Williams.
Just gotta get
a
him going.
good tandem.
Just gotta get him going.
Exactly. Can Drew Lock and Teddy Bridgewater deliver the football?
Yeah, I mean that's my biggest thing.
And the Raiders' defense is absolute garbage.
Terrible.
The only thing they have on offense is Henry Ruggs, Darren Waller,
Josh
I think
Jacobs.
that's a receiver, a tight end, and Josh Jacobs. Derek Carr can distribute. The offensive line is trash, and that defense is just awful. So
They can't stop it. Cold, bro.
I think that's a pretty solid ranking in my opinion. I feel
would
like
agree.
if it does not come out that way in the AFC West, I'd be very surprised.
Yeah, I mean, you hit the nail on the head. It's the Kansas City Chiefs by a landslide. It's not even close. Like you said, the gap is massive.
Especially with that extra game.
Oh my goodness, that's only going to help them.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I have the Chargers in second, just because they're young, they're looking to prove something, and you got a really good quarterback. Really good quarterback in a system that I think he enjoys, that plays to his strengths at that.
Look for that sophomore, like Pat Mahomes had it, Lamar Jackson had it. Look out for that sophomore
just
MVP.
that jumping board. Oh yeah.
He's on my short list for MVP next year.
Broncos in third, but I think it's a close third with the Chargers. I really do, and I'll say this: like you said, it all comes down to quarterback, and I think. What are the demands of Drew Lock? What are the demands of the quarterback position this year? That's going to be the key, because they were asking your quarterback to do too much last year down the field.
Mm-hmm.
Too much. Mm-hmm. You didn't utilize the run enough. You put too much in his plate, and he couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
He could not do it. I mean, you guys have the weapons. You guys definitely have the defense.
Mm-hmm.
And the offensive line is good enough, and you have running backs.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's all about quarterback. Mm-hmm. Like it's been since Peyton Manning left, and since before he got there, it's always about quarterback with Broncos.
Fortunately, Cortland Sutton's back this year.
Correct.
Von Miller's back this year, so we're getting some pieces back
that are going to help you.
That are going to help us, and we've added some pieces as well. So I'm excited to see how, because when Drew had Cortland, he was great.
Yeah.
He did a great job. He tossed it up to his big man, and the big man was able to go get it, because Drew Lock also just toss it up, I guess.
Which I also think was one of his downfalls, is that he got comfortable just saying, okay, hope and pray.
And that's a great thing I saw from the preseason, which, again, preseason.
Mm-hmm.
But KJ Hamler roasted the safety around the back. Dude was wide open, but he hit him in stride. So if we can see that a little more consistently from Drew, I would love it. That his strength is his arm strength. We want to see him utilize it. However, his brain gets in the way. He throws the safety post 4 times in a game, and they're all picks.
And gets his wide receiver killed every single time.
Exactly.
He literally gets beheaded every time.
So.
And then, the Raiders are the Raiders. I think that my big question mark is, I just don't know with them. They're so confusing to me, because you want to talk about not having an identity. What are the Raiders' identity? I have no idea. I don't even think they know. But number one, I think Josh Gruden is the worst decision that they made in a long time. He is a terrible head coach.
Yeah.
He's awful.
I honestly
think they were better before he got there. In my opinion.
Maybe, yeah.
In my opinion, they were better before he got there.
They're still just the 8-8. Unfortunately, it's the same thing as the Cowboys. Fortunately, this year they can't go 8-8.
Yeah.
Unless they tie, which God knows they would, because they love going 8-8. Yeah, I'm convinced they'll be like they'll be 8-8 in the last week of the season. They're like, God, we gotta tie. We gotta make sure we're
tie the game.
Tie the game.
We can't screw this up. Tradition.
Oh
my goodness.
The Raiders are just bad, dude. To me, the Raiders are in a similar position as the Browns, except 15 times less talented.
Yes.
Just hand the ball off to Josh Jacobs.
Correct.
He's such a talented back.
Let the man
He's
shine.
a top 10 back.
Agreed.
Get him the ball, let him work, and pass the ball as a supplement. Because you do have some talented parts on that offensive side of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Just selectively use it.
Yes.
So that, you rush the ball, 8 men in the box, boom, Darren Waller goes on a corner route, and boom, he's wide open on the side because everyone's too busy up front. Oh, they stress me out, man.
Yeah, they do. That's another team I'm going to keep an eye on, because like last year, they surprised me in the first 8 games, and then they decided to take a steaming pile of poop. And then they became the Raiders once again.
Again, this is another team. Could win 10 games.
Could win 4.
Could win 4.
Right.
Like, it's just, you don't know.